The Warfield Center Galleries site makes wonderful use of the beautiful imagery available to an art gallery. The uses a very large image and three different sections of the front page, and it looks great. There's a problem though. For people with less than blazing fast internet connections, using very large and high quality images can severely impact the performance, the loading performance of the page. For example, I have the page all loaded right now, but if I reload it, you can see that on my fairly slow internet connection, well, the images don't show up very fast. So this indicates that the page is loading. We see the background area where the first image belongs is blank, the background area for the second image is blank, and the background area for the third image is blank. And in fact, even now, they're still blank. So what's causing this? Let's take a look at the images that we're using on those pages. We can go into Customize. And let's check back here quickly just to see how our loading is doing. Okay, the first one has come up. Second one's still not there. And that not only is it slowing that down, it's actually, that loading time is actually affecting the performance of my other browsers. So here is the image again, and this is where we customize the background images. Let's see why. The answer is that when we click on this image, we see that this image is 2 megabytes in size. The second image is 12 megabytes in size, and the third image is 6 megabytes in size. So that is the problem that we have. We need to get these down. The ideal size would be maybe in the high 100s of kilobytes, which would be about 1/60th the size of this image. And I'll show you exactly how to fix that. This number here should be 1600 by 1050. And this number here should be, I think we could take anything less than 300 kilobytes, which again is about 1/20th the size of this image. So that 20th means that this image takes 20 times longer to load than our ideal image. So let's see if we can do that. Doing this is going to probably involve either you, the site maintainer, or the person who supplies you the image using photo editing software that will allow you to reduce the size. So I use a program called GIMP, which is free and open source, and looks something like this. But Photoshop would certainly work very well, and you can use that too. Beyond giving you more detailed instructions on how to what software to use is kind of beyond the scope of this video. But I will show you that what I did with this image in its original format looked like this. The first thing I did is I cropped it down to a more appropriate aspect ratio. I don't know if you noticed from the website, but basically this the entire lower half of that image is never used at all on the site. So all of this is invisible to the user, and so we just crop it out. And so let's see, we get. I lost the ability to show you, but basically what I did is I cropped here. This is about the size of the visible image. Crop to selection. That by itself won't do the trick. the other thing that we want to do is we want to make the image a more correct size. So we're going to actually scale it. See right now it's 16 or 2984 wide. We want that to be 1600, and we want this lower number to be 1050. We're going to do this in 2 stages though. We're going to crop it down to the correct width, or sorry, we're going to scale it down to the correct width, and then we're going to crop it down to the correct height. So I'm going to scale this. That makes it smaller. But as you can see, when I zoom in, it still has quite high resolution until we get to about here. And your web visitors will never be able to tell that difference. So now we're going to crop it again. And get it down to 1050 exactly for the height. Being off by 1 pixel would not be a big deal, so I'm going to just do that. All right, now in this image editing software, we've got it down to the correct height and width, and then we're going to export it, or sorry, save for the web. And we see here that our file size is still 567 kilobytes, which is still too much. So we're going to actually reduce the quality. And again, that actually has costs. And if you were, going to be displaying this, on a wall somewhere or in a printed out version, this might not be ideal. But for the web, this is just fine. So my target is 300 kilobytes for this image. So I've reduced the quality to 55. So then when I hit save, oh, I'm not going to actually save this image. I already have a similar image. I just want to show you the 2 images, side by side. So this right here, this shows the original, which is the image on the left, and the shrunk down version, which is the image on the right. And at this resolution, if you look really, really hard, you can see a difference. But when you think about it on the web, there's not, the difference is not important, I think. They still both look really good at this resolution. So I'm going to actually go ahead and upload this. Well, actually, no. I'm going to skip that because I think you already know how to do that. So that's just to show you how to get our targeted size. So once we get all 3 of these down to 300, we're going to reduce the page load time by a factor of 50 or 60, maybe even more, maybe 100 times, which will really improve the experience of your users.